And welcome into our little Miller's Edge post game show that we haven't done in quite some time. It's actually been probably about over a year, man. Me and my dad actually used to do this a lot and took a break from it. But now we're back. I feel like for good reason. We don't have to pass or pain. We've got former Alabama wide receiver Slade Bolden joining us. And I'll be honest, guys, we'll be kind of brief because I do have to host my post game show that I do with the network on the Crimson Tide Sports Network here. And here in a minute, in a moment. So me and Slade wanted to come on here. We were talking and felt there's plenty to talk about. I know you guys have plenty of questions, and maybe we'll get to answer some of those here in a minute. But the reason we're all here, right, to break this game down, Alabama loses in a dominant fashion, right? I mean, 28-7, lost to Georgia. Slade, I'm just going to be honest with you, man. Going into this game, I had a feeling that, listen, this could be a tough matchup for us, not just because of the cliche thing about beating a team twice deal. We all know about that, but really just because, look, this Georgia football team has been much better over the course of the remainder of the year, right? Last time we played them in game number 4 of the season, they struggled defensively. They couldn't get off the field on third down. They made some second half adjustments. They looked much better in the second half. But Alabama also was playing much better offensively. Alabama had that swagger to them, that confidence. We saw Alabama, progress from there, going on the road, beating a solid Missouri team, and things were trending up for us. But over the past 4 or 5 weeks, things have really been trending like this for us offensively. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Georgia, both offensively and defensively, have been trending in the right direction. For me, that had gave me a little bit of concern going into this matchup. And sure enough, that Georgia team and what they did the second half of the first matchup carried over into this game because listen, offensively we had no answer, right? Slade, I'm gonna
Mhm.
read you some of these stats. I'm gonna let you get your opinion out because I know you've got plenty to say. Plenty to say. But Slade, listen to this, and I'll try to put it on the screen while I mention it. Alabama was 3 of 14 on third down versus I can't remember what it was in the first matchup, but I mean it was a complete opposite. Uh, 209 total yards. Get this though, 212 passing. I know you guys like, how the hell does that work? Well, it's because we had -3 rushing yards on the day.
Yep.
-3. Now that does take into consideration the fact that quarterback gets sacked in college; those count against your rushing totals. But the moral of the story is, Slade, all 3 phases we pretty much got dominated. Special teams, offensively, defensively. I'll say this: while defense played a solid game, I'll say we were decent. To be fair, it still wasn't a great game. We were put in some tough spots. You have to acknowledge that. However, we didn't see that same level of consistency coming up
Mhm.
with some of those stops when we were put in these tough situations like we had seen in the past. And that was really the moral of the story, Slade. I mean, a block punt leading to points, an interception leading to points. And then, going into the half 14-0, I said the middle 8 was going to be critical, right? We had to find a way to get a stop. We ended up getting a stop. We didn't allow them to score, but we had no chance to put points on the board before the half. We got the ball back. That was going to be our opportunity to stay in the game. Immediately, Georgia's defense continues where they left off in the first half. And that was pretty much it. Big thanks to number 15 on Georgia's behalf, because if it wasn't for him, we might not have scored in the game. 2 costly penalties
Right.
on one series led to points for us. But outside of that, Ty struggled in this matchup. Offensive line, I mean, there was pressure consistently. Georgia did a nice job getting pressure, but also, keeping things secured on the back end. I mean, really a very sound and solid performance by a Georgia team that to me looked like they wanted it more than us, right? I mean, just mentally, we
Mhm.
just didn't seem to have that edge to us this game. It looked like we went out there, Slade, unsure about it. Maybe the moment was too big, felt comfortable knowing more than likely we have a playoff spot. Now, you said you were unsure about that, and now I'm starting to kind of lean back towards how you felt because
Right.
what I did say was,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, if we weren't going to make the playoffs, even though I think we should still be in there, we should not be. I do think we shouldn't be punished for playing in this game.
Right.
However, when you lose that fashion, you give the committee something to think about. And I
Mm.
understand we were behind the 8 ball. We had injuries. I understand that guys have been beaten up, bruised. I get all that. But Slade, you still, I mean, we have a lot of good football players. You're supposed to be able to have that next man up mentality. And I just didn't really see that out of us. Tell me what you saw out of this 28-7 beat down that we suffered to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, see, Mill, you hit everything on the head. I don't think you missed one thing that went wrong with this game. So I'll keep it even shorter than what you just did. Uh, and unfortunately, it's the negative truth. Um, we came out flat. We didn't execute. Like you said, the moment was probably too big. And, people or even the guys that are playing right now say, oh, Slay, you only did this, you only did that in your career. It's like, well, I was a part of some teams that came out and dominated Georgia, you know, and that's something that y'all didn't do today. And it's just the mentality, eh, the lack of execution, putting ourselves in bad third down situations.
Yeah.
We couldn't run the ball to save our lives.
No.
So that put a lot of pressure on Ty. Like me and you, we talked about that a lot. That's something that we felt like was a reason why Ty has struggled recently. Man, it's just like you said, Georgia wanted it more than us. Hey, look, sometimes, you know, un I don't wanna cuss, but you're gonna be the bitch, and we were the bitch tonight. And unfortunately, that is exactly
Oh,
what
man.
the case had. Yeah, it was bad. It was honestly really hard to watch. Being a former player, being, now kind of a alumni fan, just, letting them I mean, they dominated us. There's no, sugarcoating this. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They took advantage of every mistake that we had,
Yeah.
and we didn't execute at all. I question a lot of the play calling. You know, the only thing that I say that I could give us some grace would be there were some calls that I don't think went our way. But look, you can't put yourself in a position to leave it in the refs' hands, um, the committee's hands now, obviously, is what we're doing. It was tough to watch. Um, Georgia's a great team. They obviously have improved since we last played them. They just did a better job of learning from their mistakes from last game or the
Yeah.
first matchup and scheming up things that we were not ready for. And that comes down to the coaching, which they had our number today. And I honestly thought, I was like, look, our most positive thing is because the only thing that I feel like we had positively going into this game was the fact that we're playing Atlanta, Georgia, in the SEC championship, and somehow we beat them every year doing that.
Right.
But
Wasn't
hey,
there today.
you know, yeah.
Listen, and
What's the
I
old saying? Every
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 dog
rose
has a
has a
day.
story. Every dog has a day, and
That
today
was
was our day.
that was kind of the theme of the day. And I'll say this, and I hear what you're saying because it does seem like that. And you hear even the pundits saying anytime Bama plays Georgia, it's like we put on our armor and I mean we play on a whole different level, but we didn't see that today. And that's what was shocking to me, really. I mean, just from the jump, it just seemed like we had nervous energy, just weren't really flying around. Again, defensively, I felt like I saw that early on in the game, some big hits. Those guys are doing their
Yeah,
thing. But then they're being put in tough spots, and it's hard to ask these guys, right? I mean, with the block, punt, interception, earlier in the year, or not earlier in the year, but even though, through the course of the year, defense have been put in tough spots. They've come up with stops, but today, I mean, they weren't able to do so. And listen, you can't blame them there, but you could just sense, at least for me, by the second half, defense started getting worn down. They were giving up plays, and our tackling was kind of going away with it too. Is really, again, like I said, it was a dominant performance by Georgia in pretty much every phase of the game. Gunnar Stockton, 20 of 26, 3 touchdowns. I said on my show that I figured that they were going to run him a little bit more in this game because they didn't do it as much the first time we played them, and they definitely did that. And I thought it was effective for him. Nate Frazier, 13
yeah,
carries, 52 yards. I mean, just look at this though. So I mean, Daniel Hill, 4 carries for 11 yards. The leading receiver was Bernard with 62. I thought we were going to be able to get Ryan Williams going a little bit. We saw that earlier in the game, and I thought that might have
yeah.
been able to give our offense
He looked
something.
a
But
little bit like his old self, and
briefly, but here's
yeah,
Slade. But here's the thing, though: no explosive plays, man. Like it's like we're allergic to explosive plays. And you mentioned play calling again. I hate being so critical of coaching, but there was a lot of stuff that did make me question what we were trying to do. And again, hats off to Georgia defensively. They were finding ways to generate pressure, right? Whether it's bringing
dude.
five, sometimes
Mm.
six, but still locking. They had us strapped up on the back end. I mean, they really did.
Yeah, and see, I'll say one thing that I noticed frequently during the game. A lot of teams try to time up the snap count.
Mhm.
Man, I felt like these guys were so dialed into our play calling and our schemes. So we had a motion. They've seen that type of motion. They know that the snap count is going to happen at this point, or maybe they get to the tackle or before the quarterback. They were getting off the ball so much quicker than us. And that's just
Mhm.
one of the many issues that we had when it came to defending Georgia's defense. But yeah, that was
They
just
were
something
dialed
that I
in.
was like, it literally hit me. I was like, wow, they are getting off the ball so quick.
Oh, yeah.
And that's and like you said, you try not to put blame on the play calling. You're trying to put blame on Ty. You're trying to put too much blame on the O line, but Hmm, I don't know. I just don't think we came into this game from a
We weren't
game plan
ready.
standpoint ready. Yes,
No, I think on all
and mentally
aspects.
and mentality. Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, from a game plan standpoint, mentally, I feel like we weren't prepared the way we should, and I hate
Mm-mm.
to say this, and again, I hate comparing our era, our groups, our teams to, but that's the one thing I will say that does feel different about this new era of Alabama football is that with us, and I'm not saying we were always perfect because especially during last couple of years of Coach Saban's career, I mean, you definitely did see a little bit of a difference in terms of the mentality, right? Sometimes
Mhm.
not looking like you're playing up to the Bama standard, but I do feel like sometimes it does feel like some of these teams under Coach DeBoer can get a little laxed at times, right? Whether it was last year when we're in a good position going on the road to Oklahoma where everything's in front of us and everybody was putting blame on one guy. We all know that. And we kept saying, at least we were on this show, it's not one guy, it's a group thing. And look, things just seem out of
Right.
sorts. And that's what happened. And then I feel like we still kind of see that. I'm not saying the coaches take their foot off the gas, but you can't help but just kind of scratch your head at some of the things we see sometimes. You know what I mean? But because with us,
Yeah.
it didn't matter if we were playing Georgia Southern, community college, your high school team. I mean, I mean, we were going prep like we were about to go play for a national championship game, and
Yep.
and we always had that type of standard to us. And sometimes I just feel like I don't know, man. It's just like the when the cameras go to the coaches, so I don't know, man. I just don't see that edge all the time, and I feel like that reflects on the players. Just like I didn't see that out of the coaches too much, and then I didn't see it out of the players either. And it just makes me wonder sometimes.
Yeah. I'm wondering a lot. I'll tell you this though. I will say there's one positive thing that I did see from Coach DeBoer today
Mhm.
that not many coaches do, especially the more old school, you know, hard butt coaches. I don't want to cuss again,
No, you're
but
good. Hey, we're not on
got
radio. We're not on radio today.
okay,
We're
the more
strictly
hard
on.
ass coaches. And I will say this: look, there were some times, in the second half where every play's on the line. We try to convert some fourth downs. Uh, Ty would miss. We had some missed throws. We had some miscommunication, and I did see one thing that I did appreciate from DeBoer that I believe it was German Bernard on one play. Maybe he had, I don't know if it was a touchdown where he dropped, which granted, look, we shouldn't be in that situation where that is something that we need. We should not be in the situation where we need that type of play. Ball's tipped. I'll tell you, as a receiver, it's very hard to judge a ball when
Mhm.
it gets tipped. After it gets tipped, it's who knows where it's going. But I think it was previous plays with Ryan and Jeremy. You could see, I saw it on the TV where Coach DeBoer was like, "Hey, we're good. Get back to the line. Let's go. Get after it next." Like I could kind of read a little bit what he was saying, but it was very encouraging. Like he was talking to the guy, whether it was Jeremy or Ryan, who it was almost their fault that the play didn't work. Same with Ty, bad throw. But I did like that. I did like the fact that, hey, like, look, it's next play mentality in a different
Mhm.
way. A lot of times coaches either scold or they just don't say anything.
Right.
I don't know, like, Seaman,
I
would you rather? Would you rather get scolded or would you rather just silent treatment? I would rather encouragement, to be honest.
yeah.
Hey, look, I know you can make that play 9 times out of 10. You didn't make it that time, but hey, get back to the line of scrimmage. Let's get back after it. Get it back on the line of scrimmage. And hey, go make this play this next time,
Yeah,
or
no,
take
that's a
advantage of
great
the next
point.
opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah,
That's the only
I'm a little
positive thing I got tonight. Okay.
No, listen, and I want to be clear. Even what I was saying, look. I'm a believer in Coach DeBoer. I think he's a great coach. Look, there's a reason he's as successful as he is and as he has been at all of his stops. I just was
Right.
pointing out from what we come from. Just sometimes I do feel like there is whether it's and I'm sure they prepared tough. I'm sure they attacked the process. I'm not saying they didn't, but if you go back to last year, and there's just certain moments that I just sometimes feel like where you could just sense like, hey, our foot is always on the gas. Like we don't care what it is. Sometimes it does feel like I'm not saying complacency, but I don't know. And again, I'm not trying to knock anybody. It's just a little thought. What's up?
Can I answer that? This is
Yeah.
what I was like trying to say, but now that I know that we're not on radio, uh, these guys can say, "Oh, Slade, you weren't JMO, you weren't Mechie, Smitty, whatever." Okay,
Nobody. I don't think anybody's saying
right.
that.
Well, the reason I'm saying that before is because what I'm about to say next is this team showed a lot of what we call bitch assness tonight.
Mm,
Unfortunately, just
fair.
soft. Say whatever you want, but hey, it is what it is.
And I know what you mean because listen, we would throw that term around and stuff. People might hear that and think it's harsh, but I know exactly what you mean. I mean that. Listen,
Yeah.
the way we played tonight, I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, we got dominated in almost every facet of the game. I mean, that's
I
just
know
a
you
fact.
want to say it,
Hey,
C-Mill.
listen,
Just say it.
listen. No, well,
We
well,
heard it almost every other day
yeah, no,
in
no. I
that
was,
damn meeting room,
and
okay?
that's why I know how you're saying it. People might take the wrong way, but no, I know exactly what you're saying. No, listen, I mean, you're calling it how you see it, and I
Yeah.
respect you being honest. Here's my thing. Um, when I look at this football team, I can't say I'm completely shocked because listen, let's just go look at the past few weeks, Slade.
Mm,
This is literally what we've been seeing. We've been talking about it, and I always try again. This is why when we have people that call my show and they hear us talking honest, and sometimes they get upset or oh, you're a former player. Oh, what? Listen, our job is to be non-biased, to be objective,
right.
and when we talk about hey, it's concerning that we don't have a consistent running game, and people are like, oh, well, we're winning, we won this. You're complaining. No, no, no. This is why because this is what happens when you do become one-dimensional for so long
Mhm.
where a team is game planning. They're not concerned about you. Negative rushing yards, that a team's not going to respect that. Why do you think the
Mm,
passing game all of a sudden is struggling? Yes, Ty is struggling. I know a lot of people are putting it all on him, but it's not completely Ty. He's not playing
right.
great football right now. That's a fact. But he also listen when you're one dimensional, you don't have a consistent running game, and you're limited with options, and you got a lot of guys banged up.
Yeah.
This is inevitable. Like what we're seeing, like we could, me and you and anybody that calls it how you see it, we could have predicted these problems to keep popping up until we fix stuff. And that's why we taught about it. A lot of fans don't want to hear that stuff, but it's true. And now they'll listen to us because when they finally see what happens when you don't fix those problems.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I
I,
mean,
I
everybody, you know, everything's good until the truth comes out, and when the truth is the truth, it's up here. It's like when you cheat on a test and you never get caught, and then eventually, you do get caught. It's like, "Oh, I didn't know I
yeah.
was yeah, I didn't know I was cheating, but here I am."
I'll
Yeah,
I'll say this though, because I know we don't have a whole bunch of time. While it is disappointing, it is what it is when you go out there and you play like that. I mean, that's the result you get. You know what I mean? You gotta accept it. It's part of it.
yeah,
Good chance we find ourselves in the playoffs, but right now, I'm not going to lie. I think our chances have definitely probably maybe lessened a little bit. We've at least given the committee something to think about it. Now
yeah,
they're going to have to battle,
diminished.
right? Well, but they're going to have to battle this Slay. They're going to have to fight it.
Yeah,
Hey, because I don't think we should be punished for playing an extra game. I
no,
want to preface by saying that. But then you do put this in their heads before the final rankings. The last time they saw Alabama football play, we got beat down by a Georgia football team, which is a good
yeah.
football team, but still, how are you feeling about that, Slade? That's my last thing I want to ask you. How do
Uh,
you feel about that?
well,
Are we in the playoffs? Or no?
I want to hit on kind of what you said earlier. Yeah, you can win every game, right? But it's not if you won, it's how you won. You know,
Yeah,
we come across a team that's just as athletic, just as talented, just as well coached. Um, if you were able to squeeze by some wins because you are more talented, or you're able to uh, complete that last drive that mattered the most, you come into a team like Georgia where they don't make many mistakes. They're just as
Right.
efficient as us on passing game, and they ran through us like what, a shit through a tin horn? Yeah.
That's what coach says.
Again, what was the overall offensive stats before the half? It was 200
Before the
plus Georgia. We had like what, I don't know, t-
I'm
nothing.
not sure I'm not 100% sure about before the half, but I mean, these are
Disgusting
the
numbers.
finals, and I could just tell you, I mean, the final numbers weren't great, so I would imagine, before the half, probably subtract about half of those passing yards. I think it was much less than that, a little bit more than that. Yeah, I mean, it was bad, man. It definitely was bad ball. What did Georgia end up
Yeah.
rushing for? They only have 80 rushing yards? That's interesting.
Well,
No, no,
that's
no. I'm
most. That's
sorry.
probably.
They had 141. I was looking at penalties. They had 141.
Oh, I'm about to say
Yeah.
80 is more than we've had all year, probably.
No,
Oh,
they
but
went for
we're
140.
almost double that 140. Uh, when it comes to making the playoffs, do I think we're probably better than the 10, 11th, 12th ranked teams? 100%. Do I think we still beat the top 10 teams? Yes, I still think we have a great team. I still think we have an opportunity to make a run. But like you said, what have you, what's the old saying, C Mill? What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
What have you shown lately? What is the product that you put on the field most recently? And if they're judging off that, the most recent product we put on the field was tonight. And that product was,
Pretty bad.
mm, yeah, I mean, let's see, it was probably more of a Lululemon compared to Louis Vuitton.
Hey,
Hey,
look.
Georgia was Louis Vuitton, we were Lululemon. We had that, and we might have had that that discount for Black Friday.
Oh, Black Friday, I thought you were about to Sweat Collective athletes getting the 25%. I definitely took advantage of that, in my case.
I never had that many years in the league. I would have.
Nah,
I,
you still can now. Listen, you can
No, no,
probably
I
go
got the
do it.
Hertz. That's all I got. I got the Hertz rental.
Nah, listen, Sweat Collective, look into it. I think you still might qualify. We're still you
Well,
still do
how
a lot
many
of
years you
athletic
need?
stuff.
One or
And listen, just as long as you're an athlete at some point, I think you still might be qualified for it. You need to go check that out. She was like 25% off, man. I used to stay hitting that.
hey, hey, well,
Um,
see, Mel, that's what we look like. The Sweat Collective Lululemon edition, and they look like Louis Vuitton, Dior. Yeah,
I'll take it a step further. We were like the clearance Lululemon. What's it called? Last call.
look,
We were the last call Lululemon
we were
today.
the Lulu less. That's
Last
what we were. The Lulu
last
less
call.
lemon. We were
Yeah,
the
unfortunately.
tangerine.
Let me see
I'm
if
out.
somebody
You gotta get me out of here. I'm gonna.
no, here you go. I got like 3 or 4 minutes left before I have to jump on the post
uh,
game show. If you guys want to listen to me on the post game show, check out the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Me and Gray Robertson are about to knock that out here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. Before we do that, let me see some questions real quick. See what you guys are saying. OC, he gets too cute. Need to get Ty out of the game, just get a spark or something. Listen, I hear people saying make a change, try to get a spark. If
it
that's
ain't.
yeah, I was about to say if that's the direction you want to go, maybe. But I'll be honest with you, I don't even think putting Austin Mack in there would have made a huge difference. There's not a change of
Nah.
him. He's not something totally different. Maybe Keelan Russell. If he's got more of a scrambling ability or athletic ability, maybe that's a change of pace type deal. But I'm just telling you guys. I mean, yes, Ty still is a little bit off, but the way Georgia was defending us, I don't even think if you like for example, when he did have those shots, like Ryan Williams, that one he dropped in the end zone, like you know, yes, he had some misses, but he still gave our guys a couple opportunities, and we couldn't capitalize. I'm just telling you, the way Georgia was playing us tonight, it was tough, man, because they finally have found a way. They can rush forward now and get
Hmm.
and drop. So they're gonna play their staple cover 7. That includes a lot of bracket type stuff. As you guys saw, there wasn't much really to work with. Even on that pick, Ty tried to force it on the inside. There's like 3 defenders right there in the middle of the field. He had to try to squeeze it behind him, led to an interception, man. Georgia just defensively played a much better game this time around than the last.
Yeah.
Ty hasn't been the same since the Missouri game. Doesn't help with Grubb's offensive calls and the long developing routes. I don't think he has a slant route in his playbook. Slate, have you seen many slants out of this offense? I have not, and I know everybody's calling for them. And if
I
you
haven't seen it.
haven't, like we haven't,
I haven't seen a lot of anything. There was things that we did, like it was kind of like a, like I was like, oh, here we go with Ryan.
mhm.
Like, did you not see the? the plays he
Yeah,
had with the ball in his hands, we should have been doing that all year. Like what we talked about earlier when
especially
we've had previous, just you can run the ball in different ways and get your guys
well,
confident. Get him,
and
just get your playmakers the ball in their hands.
1,000% into piggyback off that. What bothers me is, man, as much pressure as Georgia brings, bro, take advantage of that. That's when you hit those screens, just like play number one for Georgia. I
Hmm.
mean, they took advantage. They knew we like to be really aggressive. We were expecting a run play to kick things off. What they do? Dump it off to the flats or quick screen real quick. Big gain.
Yep.
To me, I'm like, we should be taking more advantage of those things, knowing we're seeing a lot more aggressive defenses. Listen, if we're not going to throw the football down the field much, let's hammer the hell out of the screen game. Like you said, get your playmakers the ball and let them miss tackles. Let them just go. Let them make guys miss. Come up with something. But if you can't run the ball effective, you can't throw the football down the field effective, at least try to work the screen game knowing they're bringing a lot at you. I'll say this, guys. I hate to do this, but I got to jump off here because I got to get over to the post game show that I'm doing on the network. Check us out, Crimson Tide Sports Network. Anywhere you listen to it, you can listen to me and Gray Robertson. We're going to be breaking the game down and more playoff scenarios, all that. I know you guys are wondering about that. So all that will be right there. And if you guys have any questions, go on X right now and you can tweet us and we'll respond to your questions there. Slade, I appreciate you jumping on with us and breaking that down, man. I know it's not what we wanted, 28-7 loss
Yeah.
to Georgia in the SEC championship, but hopefully we'll be looking forward to a playoff appearance. Hopefully this wasn't too bad of a loss that it affects that. So you got any last words you want to tell the people or drop before we get out of here?
Well, I feel like the one thing that I always live by is we don't take L's, we take lessons. So hopefully we can learn from this. And if we get a shot in the playoffs, learn from it, and hopefully make a good run. But thank you, Cmil, as always. Uh,
Absolutely. Wait, don't
I'm
worry.
in Buffalo. I will say this: the reason I got the damn turtleneck on because I'm in Buffalo and it's 20,000, 20 degrees out here.
-20.
Uh, and I've had a few beers tonight, if you can't
It's okay.
tell.
Okay. Hey, listen, you've earned them.
After
Don't worry.
watching that, I was like, yeah,
Well,
I'm gonna
don't worry.
crack one
We're gonna get you back on the show during the week because we got to talk about it for the radio folks. Our radio folks
for
need to hear
sure.
your breakdown. So we'll make sure we set that up. Appreciate everybody checking us out. Tune in if you guys haven't, man. Drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and make sure you guys stay up to date because we'll be bringing plenty more at you real soon right here on the Miller's Edge. Typically on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Tonight only on YouTube with Slim Slady, Slade Bolden. Slade, we'll see you, bro. Be easy, man. Stay
Hey, good
warm.
night, y'all. I will.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate